Hi there. I'm Brittany, and I'm here today to tell you all about the 2026 edition of the Heroes of Tomorrow United Nations SDG Action Awards program. So in this video, I'll share with you a bit about the program, I'll talk about how you can apply, and I'll cover our most frequently asked questions. So let's get started. So who are the heroes of tomorrow? Well, the heroes of tomorrow are the people taking bold action. They remind us that there's always hope. They're often working quietly, behind the scenes, and against the odds to build a more sustainable, just, and peaceful future for us all. And each year, the program champions change makers or heroes like Jin Dawood. She's one of our 2025 winners. She's a mental health visionary who transformed her experience as a Syrian refugee into life-changing support for displaced communities across 26 countries. Another one of these heroes is Julian Lesage. She's also one of our 2025 winners. She's a human rights defender who supports survivors of gender-based violence while advancing peace building in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So these are the types of heroes that the program is looking for. But what is the UN SDG Action Awards? What is the program all about? Well, it's an annual flagship program of the United Nations SDG Action Campaign. And each year it receives over 5,500 applications from around 190 countries and territories. Once the application portal closes, which this year will be on the 17th of May, the applications go through a rigorous vetting and due diligence process, and they're ultimately passed on to a panel of judges who determines the winners. So finalists will be notified in September of their status and will prepare with them their trip to Rome, which will happen in October 2026. So finalists will all come together in Rome. I'll talk about the categories in a moment, but there will be 3 finalists per category, and there are 3 categories, so 9 finalists total. And when in Rome, finalists participate in an induction program, which is a series of skill building workshops and networking sessions really aimed at them coming together as a community and sharing their work and supporting each other. This is all in the lead up to the Heroes of Tomorrow UN SDG Action Awards ceremony, which unveils the winners live with music, art, and inspiring messages from leaders from all backgrounds and regions of the world. So this year, the ceremony is going to happen on Thursday, the 29th of October in Rome, Italy. And as with previous years, it will reach global audiences through UN Web TV and RAI, which is Italy's national public broadcaster. So let's explore our categories for 2026. You'll find them on our apply page. So each year, we adapt our categories to reflect the global context. And for 2026, we have 3 categories in total. The first is for individuals or change makers. And this category works through either nomination or self-nomination. And this award honors individuals who are really leading collective action towards justice, equality, and peace. And successful change makers need to demonstrate their visionary leadership and the ability to make measurable, lasting impact within their communities and beyond. The next 2 categories, well, these are for campaigns or initiatives, and these are application-based. So for the Creativity Award, this really honors initiatives that inspire hope and action through visual expression, art, innovation, and more. In the past, we've seen wonderful applicants who have worked with themes like music, podcasts, art, poetry, theater, documentary, dance, and even street art. Then next, we have the Resilience Award. This award honors initiatives building resilience in the face of conflicts, inequalities, or climate change. And initiatives can apply for this award, like I said. So let's talk about eligibility. To apply to one of these categories, you need to have proven and measurable results within the past 3 years, aligned with one of these categories definitions. Projects that are still in the planning or conceptualization phase are not eligible, and initiatives that are led by the United Nations or in close collaboration with the United Nations are only going to be considered for honorable mentions. And finally, you're unfortunately not eligible if you've already been a finalist or winner in a past edition. If you're wondering, am I a good fit for one of these categories? A great place to get started is our alumni tab, where you'll find inspiring examples of past winners and finalists. So once you've decided which category is right for you, the next step is to click that apply button. So once you've decided which category is right for you, the next step is to apply. So you can click either the nominate button if you're going for changemaker or the apply button if you're going for resilience or creativity. There you'll be brought to our application portal, which I'll show you in a minute. First tip though is to really start your application early. Don't underestimate the time it takes to prepare a strong application. The good news is you don't have to complete it all in one go. You can save your online application as you go and return to it. So as long as it's submitted by the deadline of the 17th of May, you're good to go. Here's a glimpse of the application portal. On the left-hand side, you can see all the different sections that you need to fill in. So there is quite a bit. Like I said, don't underestimate it. If this area here, you'll see this circle here that's empty, that means it's an area that you need to fill out and still submit in the application. Once you've completed that section of the application, a green check mark will appear. And that means that section of the application is done. And once you have all sections done, you can submit. If you are partway through and you're busy, you got to run, you can't do it all in one go, that's fine. You can save your application as you go along. That'll be symbolized here by this half filled in circle. You can return to it when you want, as long as it's before the 17th of May, and complete your application. And once done, you can submit it down here. So a few other things to keep in mind. There is a section for photo and video evidence right here. And this section's quite important. And that's because if you're selected as a finalist, these materials will be used to help promote your initiative. So we want you to choose visuals that truly capture the spirit and impact of your work. Also really important is that there's no branding on whatever you upload. And also speaking of impact, this is really crucial. There's another section here called review criteria, and the judges look quite deeply into this section. So impact. So your application will need to be backed by solid and credible evidence. We won't be able to do research for you. We won't be able to look into your initiative for you, into supplementary materials that aren't included in your application. We are just looking at your application. So it's really important that you upload evidence that does justice to your work. And this can include press releases, also impact reports, media coverage, recommendation letters, and there's a separate section as well here for supporting documentation where you can upload that. But in the impact section, it's really key to describe what is the concrete outcome of your work, and it include at least one quantitative result. Something else the judges are looking at is novelty and innovation. So show us how you're doing things differently, whether it's using new tools, strategies, or creative methods to tackle big challenges. And then finally, judges also want to know and see if your initiative has the potential to be scaled up or if it's already being scaled up. So this section of the application is very key for judging. So just a tip to keep in mind when putting together your application. So like I said, applications are due on the 17th of May. Once you're done all of these sections, you can simply click submit. And there you go. The portal closes 17th of May at 11:59 p.m. New York time. When you're filling out the application, you may see another time on the application form, and it just automatically recalibrates to whatever time zone you're submitting from. So that's that. So last but not least, let's jump to our frequently asked questions just to make sure we've covered everything in this tutorial. So first of all, what is the submission deadline for the 2026 edition of the awards? Like I mentioned, the submission deadline, it's the 17th of May at 11:59 p.m. New York time. After that time, the portal is completely closed and late submissions will not be accepted. So that's why it's really important. Start your application early, familiarize yourself with the application fields to get the best application in that you can. Who is eligible to apply? Like I said, if you have proven impact within the last 3 years with either a change maker or an initiative in alignment with one of the 3 awards categories, you're eligible. If your project is, or your whatever you're working on is still in the initiation phase, conceptualization phase, unless it already has impact, it's not eligible. And if the project is led in close collaboration or by a United Nations entity, it's only eligible for an honorable mention. If you're a previous finalist or winner of the awards, you're also not eligible. So really key is impact, proven impact within the last 3 years. Can I reapply if I applied in previous years? Well, yes, you can if you have new proven impact or if you have a new project, of course. Can I apply in more than one category or submit more than one application? No. So you can only submit one application for each edition of the awards. If for some reason judges or the review team, we read your application, let's say you applied in resilience and we think, you know what, this is a really interesting application. It has a lot of potential, but I see it more in the creativity category. We will do that shift for you. So don't worry too much about that. If you think your initiative is could apply to either of the awards, just choose one, apply for it. And if there needs to be an internal reshuffling, we'll support with that. But you don't need, you cannot submit actually in more than one category. May I request an extension if I cannot submit by the deadline? No, unfortunately, where it's quite strict. That's why we encourage you to start your application early. The application portal closes really at midnight on the 17th of May. Can I edit my application after submitting it? So no, once you click that submit button, it's in the system. You'll actually no longer see it, which is our next FAQ. Once submitted, you won't be able to see it. But up until this point you submit it, you can go back, you can edit it. As long as it's before that deadline, you're welcome to do as many edits as you want to it. Can I submit my application in a language other than English? Yes, of course, you're more than welcome to submit in a language other than English. Just please keep in mind that our judging panel, they come from all over the world. They speak a diverse range of languages. So whether it's in English or another language, please bear in mind that we may use translation software to assess your application. And please bear in mind that the ceremony itself will happen in English. And that's why, as part of the application form, we ask you to identify who will be your onstage representative in Rome. And it's quite key that they would be comfortable in that type of scenario. How will I find out if I win? Well, the winners, they're actually announced live on stage at the ceremony. No one knows who the winners are before that, not even the judges. But you do find out if you're a finalist in September. So regardless of the status of your application, whether you made it to the finalist round or not quite, we will notify you in September and tell you of your status. But the winners themselves, they're announced live at the ceremony. What do finalists and winners receive? Well, finalists receive a lovely, everyone receives a lovely trophy, whether they win or not. We invite one representative from each finalist initiative to Rome in October 2026, with flights and accommodation covered, to participate in the finalist induction program and the ceremony. And of course, finalists and winners also receive global recognition. We promote, our alumni from previous cohorts, our finalists and winners across UN channels throughout the year. So it's a really nice network of alumni as well. Where and when will the 2026 Heroes of Tomorrow UN SDG Action Awards ceremony be held? Well, I mentioned it will be held in Rome, Italy on the 29th of October. And we hope that some of you will see some of you there as a finalist. So good luck with your application. Start early. All right, so that brings us to the end of the video. We hope to be receiving your application. Remember that deadline is the 17th of May, so don't wait until the last minute. So go ahead, get started, and hopefully we'll see you as a finalist in Rome this October. Good luck.